Hey, Ireland.
Hey,
Hey, do you know what I had to do this weekend?
what did you do this weekend?
Okay, so I got these really great, like comfy pajamas.
Hmm.
And, like you can follow like the influencers that are like, oh, if you put this code in, you get them for $8, like
Yeah,
those things.
I like the
So
little
I was
fun
like,
clothes.
I was like, oh, lounge sets, of course, because, work from home, so great. Lounge set, super
Right.
comfy. Your dad gets super jealous. He's like, "Where's my comfy pajamas?" Okay,
You
so I'm
always are getting me
watching.
comfy pajamas. What's
I
wrong?
know. I mean, they really are comfortable. They're like so good for like eight
Yeah, and
bucks.
super soft. Ooh.
So like a couple days later, I'm scrolling through the deals and they had men's. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally getting these for your dad because,
Right.
so I got the black ones because mine's black. So I got him the black ones. And
Yeah.
they came and it was like a surprise. And your dad's obsessed. He's like, is Sunday comfy jammy day?
Oh my God. And then he wears those like fleece socks too with them. Like, if anybody knows those like cabin socks that have like the white Sherpa in them, that's what I get him like every year for Christmas. And he literally wears them every weekend. Like every Sunday, he has his little comfy outfit on. It's so funny.
Yeah, so he's been wearing them with his Oscar the Grouch
Oh,
socks,
the bright green
the
cabin.
bright green ones, and it's yeah. So today is I have my pants on. I don't have the shirt on, but obviously, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
that's our newest thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Daisy, you have a lot to say?
yeah,
Like,
Daisy.
sorry, she was whining at me.
Yeah.
She wants
So
to.
roll that music. There's Daisy. Daisy, I heard you had a really great day yesterday. What did you do?
Oh, we took Miss Daisy to the groomer. Look at her little bandana, first of all. Look how cute. Aw, nice. A little past St. Patrick's Day, but that's okay. Um, I'm sorry, we're boring her. Stop yawning in the camera. She's trying to show off. No, but literally, I picked her up from the groomer. They take like an hour because pugs, if anybody doesn't know, pugs hate getting their nails cut. She doesn't bite or anything like that, but she'll like wiggle and squirm so she doesn't get her nails done. And like that's why I have to pay somebody to do her nails because I'm too scared to like cut her nails and like cut the quick and stuff like that. So when I went to go pick her up, the girl goes, "Oh, she was going nuts." And then she's like, "I have to show you these pictures because I had to put her in the harness where she's like dangling in the air almost and with her little like legs dangling so she couldn't like squirm out of it." And it was just her suspended in that little like stomach harness. It
Mm.
was so funny. But she had her nails cut and now she's good. But like at the very end, the groomer literally was like swiping through the pictures of like her suspended, and then the last picture is her like as happy as can be, just sitting on the table like with her bandana on.
Yep.
Why does she hate me? She keeps yawning while I'm talking.
She's tired.
She's like,
Are
"Mom,
you
that's all
tired?
you."
Yeah, she's all
I
clean and
told
all
you.
pretty. Yeah. Are you joining us today, Daisy? Are you
I
gonna be the
guess
third?
she
Because
was
I
like,
did see you were watching It's Florida Man. I did
she
see
was
you.
watching it. Like,
Yeah.
I had to send my mom a picture today, and she was intently watching it. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody else's dogs watch TV. This is the first dog I've ever had that watches TV. She literally like sits like a human on the couch with her little feet sticking out, and
Yeah,
then
she's
was
so
just
cute.
really watching the
Let's
TV.
see.
It was
See
so
if I can show.
funny.
I can see. Well, of course, my
Yeah, you
light and all that.
can. No, it's like literally
Literally watching
she
the
was
TV. Yeah.
casually watching the TV and she
Yeah.
was so invested. And of course, in the first episode, it had a dog in it and she was like growling at the TV.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, the dog is just it's an actor on TV.
Yeah. She wants to be an actress. You want to be an actress, Days?
I guess she
Yeah.
does. I don't know. She also just like is like always barking at dogs. She barks at that stupid flip flop on that cruise commercial all the
She
time
hates
too.
that
I'm
flip
like
flop. Oh.
everything that like is like an animal representative, like she always growls and barks at it on the TV. Okay, now she's gonna lay down. So
Now
she's
she's
done
like,
for
I'm
the
tired.
day. Oh, she's falling.
All right, so we are here. Welcome to Butterscotch Rewatch. We are here for a bonus episode of It's Florida Man. We are
We are
season
back.
two. We are back, season two, episode one and two. We got Speedy and Pizza Man. So we got some joyous
They've definitely stepped up in like who they have, I think, in each of these because like as the season catches on, I think more and more people like when they reach out, they're like, "Oh, absolutely, I'll be in this episode." So
Right.
these two were super fun to watch.
Yes, they were. So first one is Speedy. We got Jeremy Renner in this one, in
Mhm.
this amazing, like, it almost reminds me of like a Hulk Hogan wig.
Yeah,
Like
I was
it's
gonna say
like,
it's giving Tiger King and like Hulk Hogan at the same time.
yeah,
Like,
yes. Yeah, so we've got who else is in it? Johnny Pemberton is Jared. Now, he's been in a lot of things. He was in Superstore. He was it Cheyenne
he
was her
was like
name?
the nerdy boyfriend of Cheyenne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
He's been in a lot of stuff. He was just in something. Oh, he's in Fallout.
yes. Yeah, he is
Thaddeus?
Thaddeus in Fallout, the
Thaddeus
one
in
that gets
Fallout.
turned. Yeah.
Yeah.
With like all the kids in the like the little soda wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's such a good actor. He's just like goofy and he just I don't know, very funny.
He plays Jared. Shea Wingham. I don't know who that is, but he plays Walt. And then, oh God, this is a comedian, and I don't really know who he is, and I'm sure people know who he is.
Yeah,
Is it
he's
Bert
like
Kreischer?
either
Kreischer?
people love
Kreischer?
him or they hate him. He's more like famous on like he has like a lot of stand-up stuff on
Okay.
Netflix.
I've
But
seen him
I don't really
before.
know much about
Me
him. I
neither.
think he's like, kind of controversial, but who isn't controversial, I feel like now.
Yeah,
Like with
literally
especially with like
everyone's.
comedians.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he's Roy the Guard. He plays Roy the Guard in this. So those were the only like main characters I think
Mhm.
that I saw. All right, so let's get this started off. So Florida Man, episode one, Speedy, season two. We're going to start off with a casino boat. We see Jeremy Renner's character. He is in a truck and he's looking at a picture of his dog, Shay, who is a pit bull. And he gets out of the truck and he steals the boat. It's like this super like assassin-y kind of like,
Mhm.
steals it. And the plan was to rob the casino. Jeremy Renner's playing Speedy. And Speedy says, an action creates a reaction. You mess with my dogs, you're going to get a reaction. And they got a reaction. And
Honestly
then
felt that because if anybody ever did anything to Daisy, then I would be like that as well.
yeah, so this starts the whole woo. So this has to do with the dog. So I think
Because
this is
they
I
always do like that flash forward to start every episode and
mhm.
then they go back. But now we introduce the real Speedy, whose real name is Kenneth Rollerson. And he is from a town called Crackertown, Florida. And I fear that only in Florida would they have a town called Crackertown. But he explains to us that he has pretty much done everything in his life. Like, one of my favorite quotes from this episode was, as soon as I came out of the womb, they had to like catch me in the hallway because I was running away. And then the doctor was chasing after me to smack my ass. So I was like, hello? So that
Yes.
kind of gives the whole presence of how he is. But contrary to popular belief, the only thing that this man has ever been addicted to is adrenaline.
Hmm.
And to get these rushes, not wrenches, adrenaline rushes is that he pretty much does everything almost like illegal under the sun that he can without any drugs or alcohol or anything like that. Um, so now we just get this montage of him explaining every single thing that he's been arrested for, allegedly that things
Allegedly.
allegedly that he's done that he's been arrested for. So we have bank robberies, extortion, aggravated assault with a firearm, armed with a deadly explosive, blowing up a bar, and then also kidnapping a dude's brother and then making the other brother pay for to release the brother. And he's just like, all of this is alleged, but every single thing that he lists, we see a different, like we see Jeremy Renner taking a different, what are those things called? Mugshot.
Mugshots is really
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
And he's like consistently flipping off the camera, saying like, this is alleged and all of these things. So this is kind of how we're starting off.
Yeah. And Speedy does make a big deal that nobody's ever been hurt except for a bad headache. Nobody's
Yeah.
been killed or hurt,
Hmm.
except for a bad headache because he hit somebody over the head with a gun.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is all stuff that he's allegedly been that he has been charged with so far.
So far.
So far. Yeah. So one of the cuts when he's listing all the stuff that he's done, one of the cuts is Jeremy Renner in the car with the bag of money that he just stole, and then it has
And it has like the little like
the dye pack,
self-explosive in it. Yeah, like
and
the
it
dye
blows.
patch.
He's
And
like,
then
oh shit, and then it blows. He's blue, and then his mugshot. He's like, I didn't do it. It
yeah, he
wasn't
goes,
me. And
"You
he's
got
got
the
the.
wrong guy," and it's literally all the blue ink all over his face.
You
I
definitely
was
got the
like,
wrong
okay,
guy this
love that
time,
for you.
guys.
Alleged. It's all alleged.
Ah. You got the wrong guy in this one, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so he does a lot of stupid stuff. He's just an adrenaline junkie, like you said. So we're gonna meet Jessica Kite, and she's a podcaster, and she grew up next door to Speedy, and knows all about the legend of Speedy. So it seems that everybody in this area knows of Speedy somehow. It's like the legend of Speedy.
I can't imagine Cracker Town is a big town. I cannot imagine that. So I would assume that everybody knows everybody in this town. But specifically Speedy because he has really made a
Right.
name for himself.
Yes, and I feel like he's very unforgettable looking. Like he's very unique looking.
Yeah, like you definitely can't like you would look twice at this guy down the street. You would be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that's an interesting like way of dressing and also just a look."
Yeah. And he says he has been on the run twice. And the second time he had to leave his dog Shay behind, which he's a dog lover, so I'm
Mhm.
already on his side with this because he doesn't live
Obviously.
there. Because I feel like I would do the same thing almost. So he leaves Shay with his friend Walt. Um, but but Walt's son Jared, who was maybe like 18 or 19, we're showing him go to like Walt's door. And this
Mhm.
is the reenactment. So Walt opens the door, and then here comes like Walt's son Jared, and he's in like this like pink robe, and he's eating a bowl of cereal. Like
Mhm.
he's like, "Here goes the flow," and he's just eating the cereal. Um, and he's like, "Oh, he was maybe 18 or 19," and then the actor goes, "I'm 36." So
I
I don't
love
know.
that.
Um, and Walt promises that Shay will be taken care of. He's like, I will take care of your dog. Do not worry. And Speedy tells us that there's a certain law enforcement officer that had a hard on for him. And it cuts to the scene, and Walt answers the door, and it's the law enforcement guy, and he says, I got a hard on for Speedy.
I love when they do that.
And then Walt says, that's a weird thing to say. And then he just hands him the dog leash.
Yeah, so Shay is now with our law enforcement kind of
Mhm.
officer. And then we cut to Special Agent Bill, and he says that they held Speedy's dog for ransom. They're telling him to turn
Terrible.
himself in, or they're gonna put the dog down.
That's some shady shit right there.
That is, and also like the poor dog didn't do anything, and it's
No.
adorable, and I could not imagine that. So of course it cuts to Speedy going, I was so angry, and then one of those things where it cuts to Jeremy Renner playing Speedy and he goes, I'm angry.
To Walt, yeah.
Yeah, because he comes back to like get his dog and there is no dog, and then he finds out that he's being held for ransom. So
Yeah. And he Speedy says, you don't just go and take someone's dogs, and just murder them. You're
mhm.
going to pay dearly for it. Yeah,
Absolutely,
I
I
agree.
100% agree.
Oh, agree. He has
Yeah,
every
you're
right.
telling me, like, for like me, right? I don't have any children, but my dog is my child. So I would literally be like, like in Taken, where it's like, I will find you and I will kill you.
I have a specific set of skills to find my dog, Daisy.
Right. Literally turning into Liam Neeson as we speak. Yeah.
Right. Great. Oh, gosh. I do have children, and my dog is still my child.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we're gonna cut to the reenactment. Speedy watching TV, and he sees like a advertisement for the casino boat called the Sun Cruise Casino. That's when he started to plan to steal the casino to get even. He says, "You steal my dog, and I'm gonna kill your cat." Speedy shoots the TV and says, "Fuck you."
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. So now he's gonna start planning this heist because, of course, he's pissed off, and in some sort of way, he thinks that this is his way to get even, is to kind of hijack this Sun Cruise casino, at least take the money from the safe, and then basically steal the whole thing, which is insane. But Speedy, he's really a thinker. So of course he starts to plan this with his friend Walt. And Walt, like, and it's just the two of them in the car, and he tells Walt, no boozing, like, you cannot be drunk for this, you have to be sober. And we cut to Walt saying, I swear on my mama's grave, I will not fail you, I will be sober. And now we are getting into the heist.
Yep. He tells us step one was the night guard. So we see the guard sleeping. Now this is that Bert Kreischer, yeah. They needed his key card. They bust in, they knock him out easy, and take his key card. The ideal situation was to get into the safe. So they show Speedy with a blowtorch with tons of money and gold. Like he gets into the safe with the blowtorch, gold bars,
and, like,
money,
hundreds of thousands of dollars
yes,
everywhere.
yes. And then he was going to put the boat into autopilot and head due west. And then production says, "You were going to steal the whole boat?" And he says, "Yeah, I was going to steal the whole boat, 100%."
Was a thought behind his mind just saying like, "Oh no, I was not." Yes, I 100% that was the thought.
So it shows Jeremy Renner looking at a picture of Shay and giving Walt the thumbs up, like, we got the money, got my dog, we're good. In a perfect world, that's the way it would have happened.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen that way.
Yeah, and then he brings up something called Murphy's Law, which in our household we live by, because if anything happens, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong, and everything in that will also go wrong. So
Yes.
we've been living this our entire lives. My first name is Ireland, but I am not lucky whatsoever. I don't know what happened with that. But we cut to Speedy in real life, and he says, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And let me tell you, everything went down. So now we cut back to our actors again, and this is what really happened this time. So the first thing, remember when we were in the car and Speedy was like, Walt, make sure we're not drinking, like you have to be sober. And he said, yep, swear on my mama's grave, not gonna let you down. Well, what really happened was he walked into Walt's house, was ready to round him up and get started on the heist. And we see Walt stumbling out like a hot mess. And he is wasted. And he is carrying literally like a bottle of Maker's Mark with him.
Yes.
And he is just shit-faced.
Yes. Yep. And Jeremy Renner's character looks at him and goes, shit.
Yeah.
He just knows. And then we cut to Blaine. He's a retired former deputy chief of police. He's now a private investigator. He says, when you see a robbery or bank heist, it's nothing like you see on TV. And then back to Walt trying to put his pistol in his pants. He's drunk as hell.
And he misses his pocket, and it didn't even go anywhere close.
It's like, hold on. He's like, oh, is this like sweatpants? And they're like super big sweatpants. And he like just misses. He's like, oh,
right.
Okay, yeah. And so Blaine says most of these guys aren't rocket scientists, or they wouldn't do what they do. So truth. And then we hear Speedy go, tonight's go night. Walt, you told me I can count on you. And Walt's like, I'm too drunk. And he says, just give me your keys. Let me borrow your truck at least. And then Walt says, he says, payback. She ain't running. That's what he calls his truck, is payback. And it shoots to like this janky old truck. And it literally has payback spray painted on it. Yeah. And like orange or red spray paint.
Literally.
Yeah. And so he's like, so Jeremy Renner kicks a beer can and says, God darn it. And then Walt's got an idea. He says, I've got an idea. Take Jared. He'll go. And then Jared
go like, me? Like still eating his cereal? Like
still eating cereal. He's not in a row, but he is still eating cereal. And then we cut to real Speedy, and he said Jared was the only one that could go. So I was like, okay, hell with it. I don't have much of a choice. So I took Jared, which was a big mistake.
Yeah. So we cut back to the reenactment of Speedy and now Jared, and of course, to seal their identity, they're doing the age-old trick of putting pantyhose on their head, like over their face, and they're starting to like creep up to the casino, and Speedy is holding a gun because of course he has to be armed for this to happen, and then Jared is somehow still eating his Fruit Loops from before.
In his backpack, he has like
Yeah, I don't know. This man just loves a cereal, which, like, don't blame you, but
right.
there's a time and a place. And then the first step, of course, is to break into the guards' room so they can steal the key card. And we cut back to Bert Kreischer, who's playing the security guard, and he's just got a donut in hand, coffee, just classic security guard. He drops the coffee but does not drop the donut. He puts the donut directly in his mouth. And with this hold up, he literally just puts his hands up. And the two of them go, "This is a robbery. This is serious."
This is serious, yeah.
As they're literally pointing a gun in the security guard's face.
And I want to mention that the original donut he had is a chocolate frosted donut. So he's got that in his mouth. He dropped the coffee, like you said. Mm-hmm. And yeah. And so after they say, like, this is a robbery, this is serious, Jared comes busting in because Jared was out back looking for, what was he looking for? Was he looking for a gun or something?
Yeah,
he was looking for something in his backpack. And Jared comes busting and pointing his gun to the back of Speedy's head and says, "You son of a bitch!" And then it cuts to the guard, who now has a French crawler in his mouth.
No more chocolate frosted.
Is that what they're called? French crawlers or the crullers?
Yeah,
or
like yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Okay. And so Speedy says, "God damn it, Jared, get your gun off me." And then it goes back to the guard. He has the chocolate frosted donut back in his mouth. And Jared and Speedy argue, and he tells Jared to just give him the duct tape. So Jared now is fumbling in this backpack of his, and he is literally pulling out everything, that is not this tape. And he says, Speedy says, all we basically have to do is tape the guy up. And Jared struggles to find the tape. The French crawler's back in the mouth. Okay. While this is happening, while Jared is trying to fumble in this backpack, the guard throws the donut, which is the French crawler, at Speedy, and it hits him like right in the head. He's like, "Oh!"
Right between the eyes.
And Speedy says he went to go like reach for like his gun or in his pocket, he thinks. So he tackles the guard. Mm-hmm. Okay. And they're literally fighting WWE style. And Jared is still looking for the bag while eating a snack, by the way. Yeah. He literally pulls out like a bag and he's like, "I'm looking for guys. It's in here somewhere." And then Spee's like, "Just give me the goddamn tape." And Jared says, "Yeah, it's in here somewhere." And he pulls out 2 rolls of toilet paper. They're still fighting in the back, WWE style.
Yeah.
And then Speedy hits the guard on the head with the gun, and Jared finally finds the duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And cut to Blaine, the PI. He says, again, not a lot of gray matter up here.
He's like, if these idiots can do this, then oh, good God. Yeah, so now that first obstacle is out of the way, it took way much longer than the original thought here, but they're back into the casino. They still have their little pantyhose on, and they literally can't see anything through those pantyhose. So they just say screw it, and they just like put it on top of their little heads so they still look like idiots. But
it's the full pantyhose. Like it's like the like legs are hanging down like this, and then they've got like with the line.
Ears. Yes. Yeah, so now they can't see shit, but now they took it off, and now they still look like idiots because it's still on their head. So Speedy says that he went and stole an acetylene torch?
I think it's acetylene, yeah.
Acetylene, yeah. And Jared is like struggling to like maintain this big torch. Like he's just
like on a wheelie, like a two-wheeler.
He's like, this thing is so hard to move. Like, I don't know. It just, everything with Jared is just so comedic because this guy just like does not belong here. It's so bad. And then they finally get to the safe, and then Speedy lights up his torch. He's ready to kind of welding style bust it open, make a hole in it. And nothing happens because he's like, I think the words were, I think this thing is made of steel. No, duh. No, duh. It's probably even worse than that. So he
Oh.
didn't realize how tough and thick the material was for the safe because clearly they're not going to use it like plastic to maintain this money for this casino. So he's like, well, shit, what do we do now?
Mhm.
And Speedy is like really getting annoyed with Jared because who isn't? Because Jared's literally like still trying to pull that
He's
card.
dead weight. Oh my god.
Yes, and he just is like it's just more of a bother than anything. And Speedy says, well, first of all, he tells Jared to shut up because he's just like, well, what do we do now? What are we like doing here? Blah blah blah. And he's just like, please stop talking. And he's trying to think. He's formulating a plan.
Yes. Yep. So he decides we're gonna steal the ATMs. They just slide them down the ramp, and they have wheelbarrows.
I don't know where
Apparently,
those came from.
it's two ATMs, and they've got these wheelbarrows, and like, doo, 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 doo. And then the guard comes out because he's tied to the chair. But
Mhm.
he had like the mask that like the eye thing they have on him is like one of those sleepy masks,
Yeah,
for
like a little
comedic,
spa night mask.
Yeah, so like it's like this, so he can see out of the one eye, and he's like attached to the chair, and he comes running out, and he says, "I don't know where you think you're gonna go with that. You can't get those out of here." And Speedy's like, "Oh yeah, whose Cadillac is that?" And then the guard says, "Don't touch my car. That's my baby." And
He's
then
like
he
butt
witnesses.
snooping.
So this guard has to watch as they go to his Cadillac, okay? And they're trying to shove both ATMs into this car.
Mhm.
And ATMs are huge, like, and heavy. So,
Right.
as they're putting them in the cars, like, "Meh."
Yeah.
And so they were able to get the one in the car, but the second one they just couldn't fit. And he said, like, we had to leave it behind, but it was like an inch away of fitting into the car. So they had to just go away with the one.
Yeah.
And the guard says, "You're never going to get away. You're not going to get through the gate with that." And then Speedy says, I look at Jarrett and I said, "Hold on. Put that baby in low gear," and went about 50 through that gate. Just goes right through the gate with the Cadillac. Uh,
Yeah, so now we cut to them successfully stealing the ATM, and it's just like randomly in his front yard now. And they're really trying to get into the ATM. Like Speedy's literally trying everything to get into this thing. And it's just not budging. And then all of a sudden, he just takes out his gun, shoots the door, and then it pops wide open. So he's done all of these other things when he could have just shot it open to begin with.
right.
He goes, I thought that they were all going to be tens and fives because usually for ATMs, they're usually smaller cash or something like that. And he goes, it was actually all 20s. And it gave us about $32,000 allegedly in cash. And it wasn't exactly what he wanted. He wanted the whole safe. He wanted maybe both of the ATMs, needed something more, but he felt that that was enough compensation for what happened with his dogs.
Right. Yeah. And then Jessica, who's a neighbor slash podcaster, she tells us that Speedy knew the cops were after him and he went to Massachusetts. He was going by the name of Bruce Clater. So in walks Jeremy Renner with a shirt and it says Bruce on the shirt. And he goes by a couple of names.
Yeah, apparently
So,
this man has lived 1,000 lives and has
right.
like 10 other alter egos.
He's been on the run multiple times. So,
Yeah.
so he's in the bar chatting with some young lady, and he hears his name on the TV. It's America's Most Wanted guy, and they show his most recent mugshot, which is the one with the blue ink on it.
Yeah.
That's the one that they choose. I love it. He wears this like LWX hat. So Jeremy Renner has the same hat. He has the exact same hat in the mugshot that he's wearing currently.
Like in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the young woman looks at the TV and looks at Bruce and says, "Damn, Bruce, that looks like you." And then Bruce says, "How about that?" And then he says, not 10 to 15 seconds later, they said, "Also known as Bruce Clater." And then she says, "Bruce, he got your damn name too."
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner goes, "Well, how about that?" And everyone looks at him. uh, And then Speedy says, "That's a bunch of bullshit. If anybody thinks I'm the guy right there's the payphone. Go ahead and pick it up."
Mm.
And he says another buddy of mine stood in front of the payphone and said, "There ain't gonna be anyone using that payphone." And then he gives Speedy the thumbs up. He's like, and then Speedy's like, "Okay, cool." And
Yeah.
it's actually one of the WWE wrestlers
Yeah.
from the Wyatts. He was the red-haired guy from the
Yeah.
Wyatts. And his cute little like cameo.
Aw. Yeah, and it's cute because they like the little thumbs up. He's like, I did a good job, right? Yeah, so the barmaid, so lady behind the bar is like, oh, pack up your shit, I'll call you a cab. And of course, Bruce or Speedy is going, oh, thank you. And then before he gets up and leaves, it's like so dramatic that the girl next to him that he was talking to at the bar the whole time goes, wait, I love you, Bruce Clater, and like kisses him. And he literally just looks at the camera and goes, how about that? And then he walks away and he says that within 5 minutes, he was able to pack up his stuff. And when he went downstairs, there was a cab waiting for him. But of course, like all good things, they have to end. They eventually caught up with him in the cab, or just in a different, I think in a different scenario, they caught up with him. But he says that he's not going to get into that because that's just a whole nother story for another day. So we're not getting into it today.
Right,
But
today's
we
not
do
that day.
cut to him, or the reenactment, him, Jeremy Renner, taking one last mugshot there.
And then he says, "You only caught me because I wanted you to, but I ain't getting into that today." And then he says, "My lifelong run of evading the police had come to an end. About a year later, I got a visit in prison. It was Walt."
Mm-hmm.
And Walt says, "Oh, I got somebody, and it's Shay."
Yeah, it's Shay, his little.
Shay, and
Yeah,
she puts her paw on
little-
the glass, and then Jeremy Renner puts his hand on the glass. It was so cute. And he says, "But that's all in the past because he's got his dog back." They did not kill Shay. They did not put her to sleep. Thank goodness, because that would be dirty as hell. That's a really shitty thing to do to somebody. But today he is trying to clean up. He's trying to start a new, life. He's been cleaning up the river he grew up in. He says, "It takes a crook to spot a crook, and take it from me, this river is being destroyed by crooks. Pisses me off." And then we got some local ladies that got stuff to say about him.
Yeah, so they're just like sitting on like the little like deck right behind the little river. And these ladies are just like, oh, he's our Speedy. Like everybody knows Speedy. He will always be our Speedy. And if you don't like it, they say tough bandanas.
Tough bandanas is exactly
The most Florida thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So then we cut to showing all of the mugshots of Jeremy Renner that he took, and then like kind of after that, then they also cut to all the real mugshots of the real Speedy as well. So you can really see, and they look very similar.
And then he leaves us with a nice word of advice. "Mama, look at me now."
And he's just being so majestic on his boat, like.
He's cleaning up the river. He's doing good stuff. Yeah.
He's doing good things now.
So, there you go.
Allegedly.
That's Speedy. It's Florida Man Speedy.
That one's pretty good. I think they step up their game like in season 2, really.
They
And
do. Yeah.
this next one that we're gonna cover was literally my favorite one so far this whole time, I think.
This one is, yes, this one's pretty good. So, like Ireland said, we're getting better actors. So this one's called Pizza Man. This is season 2, episode 2. This has Adam Devine in it. He's Chad. We also have Nick Swardson, who's Bad Chad.
His alter
And
ego.
then we have Chet Hanks, who is Tom Hanks' son. He's Jimmy. So he's gonna be Jimmy, the like rapper, singer guy, whatever he is. Yeah.
I love Jimmy.
And this takes place in Pensacola, Florida in 2012. Okay. It started off with an alarm going off at Little Caesars Pizza. So we see pizza boxes scattered all over the place. There's crazy equations written all over the wall. It's a total mess. We see reenactment Chad, which is Adam Devine, get up and he notices he's only in his socks and his like underwear. And he's like, he had done a lot of drugs the previous night, and he's like, "What have I done here?" And then the phone was ringing, and he answers it, and the security company asks if everything is fine, and he says, "Yes, everything's fine." And then he grabs an apron to cover up like himself, and then he grabs two waters and a brownie from the fridge,
Yep.
and then he jumps out the
Yeah, he jumps out the drive-through
drive-through
window.
drive-through window. Yep, yep.
Yeah, so now we cut to meeting the real life Chad, and his full name is Chad Korn. And what we learn about Chad Korn is that he is an appliance technician, and he also has Tourette syndrome. So he realized this at a young age. Like, he's like, it's something that where you can kind of feel it coming on, and you can fight it as long as you can, but eventually it'll come out. So he was kind of having a hard time trying to kind of manipulate that within himself, and it was kind of like an internal fight. So as he got older, he said that he started getting introduced into drinking and then dabbling in drugs, and this was a way that he could kind of lose himself with that condition. But as time went on and as he was drinking more, he got into more hard drugs, and he said that he did really not like who he became with that mixture of drinking and those hard drugs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it shows it shows reenactment Chad, and he's like, other drugs. And then he sits on the couch admiring all the different drugs. There's like every drug on the table.
Yeah.
It's literally just a table full of drugs. And here comes bad Chad. So he literally like separates into, here comes Nick Swartzen as bad Chad. So it's like
Yeah,
just
it was
two,
literally like mitosis, like
yeah,
the two cells dividing, and then it
yeah.
was just two people on the couch.
And he, of course, is the evil version of Chad, bad Chad. Duh. He was the one who wanted to get high and party. He was very crazy. And then they just show him jumping on the couch next to Chad yelling, "Yeah, yeah." And then one day Chad is at work and he's scrolling through Facebook and he sees his friend Jimmy is playing a show. So he's very successful and is open for several major music artists, he tells us.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I should have looked this up before, but I'm curious of like what artists that he's opened up for. So I think that's what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to research that because I'm very interested as somebody who's been to a lot of concerts. But so we then meet Jimmy, and he's everything that I thought he would be. I don't even know how to explain what he looks like, to be honest with you, but the way that he describes himself is that he's an artist, a performer, a concrete finisher, generational curse breaker, light worker, and a star seed. And what he describes as his performing name is Jimmy V on stage. And let me tell you, when we cut into a little bit of him actually rapping, like we like literally cut to his like music video within the episode, and he's literally rapping like on a tractor, and he's just like standing in the middle of a field with like mud everywhere. Like, and it might be one of the worst things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Worse than what was it, long neck? The long neck rap
yes,
with
the daddy long neck and thick
daddy
neck,
long
like
neck. That rap.
No,
that one was
bad.
better than this rap.
Yeah, this rap was really bad, and I just like don't understand like the way I don't know, but it's very comical, and but you know what? Love that he is best friends with Chad. Like they definitely have a cute little bromance going on. He does explain to the people after, and I love that his interview's in the music studio, by the way, because he just looks like he's the shit, but like, then we just heard that terrible rap and I can't take him seriously. But he does explain to the camera that he's been Chad's best friend. He's literally the godfather of Chad's son, I believe, or child, and they've known each other for 25 years.
Yeah. And then Chad tells us that they were born 11 days apart. So they're like peas and carrots.
Sure, Chad.
And then cut to the reenactment. So Chad is at the club and Jimmy's performing at it. So we see Jimmy on the stage rapping, and he's literally rapping, "Artist, performer, concrete finisher, generational curse breaker, I'm the truth deliverer." Literally rapping what real
it's
Jimmy,
like just that over and over and over
what
again.
Jimmy has said about himself, and it's just like,
yeah,
it's so funny. And then we see Chad sit next to a woman at the bar, and he's like, "That's my buddy. We were born like 11 days apart. We're like peas and carrots." And she's like,
Okay.
not
Like,
interested. She's like, I'm out.
like every
Yeah.
woman when a man is coming up to them at the bar, you're like, okay.
So real Chad tells us that he really isn't feeling it, so he's got to get turned up. And he says, "I love to party." So he calls his drug dealer who's on speed dial and literally shows him, like, pushes the button and says drug dealer on the phone.
So we cut to Chad going out to meet his drug dealer, and it's actually just Chad and Bad Chad in the car together, and they have their drugs from their drug dealer, and they're just so excited, and they do some of the drugs in the car, and then they go back into the club. And when they go back into the club, Jimmy notices that Chad is definitely on something, because the way that he could describe it is his jaw was all the way over to the right side of, or the left or right side of his face, and he was grinding his teeth like no tomorrow. So he knew that he was on something. And then because Chad was still not feeling it, he went back into the bathroom to do even more drugs. And he just tells us, like the real Chad tells us, that he does not have a stop button when it comes to drugs. Like he just goes all out, and it's just crazy. So after we talk to him, we cut to the reenactment again of them both, Chad and Bad Chad, just going absolutely nuts at the club. Like, they are just dancing, they're wiggling their hands all around, they're going insane. And Chad's just like, you know what, I think I'm a great dancer, but when I'm hyped up on all those drugs, I probably looked a hot mess. And when they slowed everything down, they definitely looked a hot mess.
Yeah. It was like he was like voguing. He was like,
yeah, and everybody around them is just like normal pace, like, oh, okay. And then literally Chad is just like, like in the middle of the club. It was insane.
So he tries to get more drinks, and the bartender won't serve him. He says, "You're drunk." And then then Bad Chad replies, "Actually, we're high." So the bartender still refuses, obviously. So it just cuts to Chad yelling, "Fuck you," at nobody. Literally like nobody.
Yeah.
And then he says he starts getting paranoid. So Jimmy tells us that Chad was really messed up that night. It was definitely Bad Chad. And then it shows a reenactment of Chad freaking out as reenactment Jimmy is rapping exactly what real Jimmy just said. It's just so funny. So Chad is so paranoid that he thinks the cops are there to bust him. So he goes into the bathroom and he goes to flush the drugs down the toilet, but Bad Chad stops him and says, "No, the cops will find it in the pipes." So he needs to eat it. So he eats it.
So my favorite part of this is Bad Chad is literally like creeping up on the stall next to him, like peering over, like, "Oh no, don't do that, buddy. Like, you have to eat it to get rid of the evidence. Like, they're gonna find it." It's just, I could not imagine.
I think it was meth too, wasn't it? Meth
Yeah,
that he
it
took?
was
Yeah.
meth. Like, in the reenactment, it looked like cocaine, but then, like, but then later we find out that it was meth.
Yeah.
And Chad, after eating all of the drugs, just literally consuming it like an animal.
Didn't die.
And then after that, he's still paranoid that the cops are going to get him. They cut to him kind of like taking a slight jog outside, running out of the club, just onto like the random main road, and then there's like the sirens behind him, but really there's no sirens behind him. And he's just like, "I'm just so paranoid. I think that these guys are gonna get me." And then he cuts up to a crossroad. And of course, because we're in Florida, there's a big swamp and all of these things. And we learned from episode 1 that you probably shouldn't just be swimming and riding around in the swamp. And we see Chad, and he's like, "Well, you know, everybody's going to expect me to take the bridge." And then Bad Chad shows up and he goes, "The cops are going to know that you take the bridge. Take the swamp way." So he does. He takes the swamp way in the middle of the night. And as he's like treacherying or walking through the swamp, he loses one of his shoes. Man loses one of his shoes, but then instead of just being normal, right? He's like, "Oh, well, I lost that shoe. Don't need this shoe anymore." Takes off his other shoe and throws it in the swamp. And now he is just wading through the swamp.
Hmm. Yep. And as he's waiting, so Bad Chat, so they go through the swamp, and he sees a building, and he tries to get the top of it by taking off his pants and throwing them up there so he could like grab it and climb onto the roof. Um, but the pants end up getting stuck, and he says, "I don't need those anymore." And somehow he lost his shirt. He doesn't know
Yeah,
how.
I don't know if it was in the swamp or something, but he just like showed up with no shirt on too. So he's just in his underwear and his
Yep.
socks.
So
That's
he's in
it.
his underwear as a sock, his underwear and his socks, and it's 7 in the morning. He sees a Chick-fil-A and goes to the back door where he sees a worker who screams and asks what he's doing here. And he says, "I just want some water." And the worker's like, "Where are your pants?" And then Chad says, "I think they're stuck to an electrical bolt or something." So he leaves.
And no water, just left.
No, he just leaves. Yeah. Electrical bolt.
Yeah, I don't even know. So the
Uh,
man is still dehydrated, just because he's literally pulling an all-nighter, still cracked out on drugs. And he was just so dehydrated that he sees a Little Caesars and he sees that no one's in there. So he's like, "Oh my God, if I do not get something to drink right now, I'm literally going to die." So he sees that nobody's in the Little Caesars, so he's like, "How the hell am I going to get in?" And the first instinct is he sees a little flagpole with a Little Caesars flag on it, and he takes the flagpole and shoves it in between the doors, so then the lock like immediately pops open so that he can get inside.
mhm.
But what he didn't realize is that those locks were automatic, so when he got inside, he's like, "Yay, yippee, I finally get something to drink." The doors close and he's still locked inside of that Little Caesar. So not only is he locked inside of a Little Caesars, but now he's literally trespassing and stuck
Mhm.
inside of the crime scene.
Right.
So the first thing he has to do, because he's just mad thirsty, is that he's taking two of these small little 20-ounce Pepsis, and he figures out like, "Oh, I'm trapped in here," but this Little Caesars has a drive-through, and the drive-through window was just left open apparently. So he takes his two Pepsis and he army crawls out the window and he chugs his freaking Pepsis, like
Yeah.
both at a
He's
time.
like both, and there's like, oh. And so Bad Chad started acting crazy. He was trying to figure out how Little Caesars Pizza was able to make hot and ready pizzas for $5. So we see, because he goes back inside because he's still thirsty. So this is when Bad Chad's like, "I don't get it. How do they make it? Like there must be a secret." So we see Bad Chad writing equations on the wall, trying to figure this out. Okay, he was obsessed with the secret. What's the secret? So they cut to a Little Caesars employee, and he's like,
Like a real
"There."
life
He's like
employee.
literally like a 17-year-old kid. He's like, "There is no secret." And then he goes through the process of how it's done. He's like
Yeah, he's
literally
like, we
like,
literally hold the pizzas in the little infrared oven for 20
mhm,
to 30 minutes, and then after those 20 to 30 minutes, we have to throw them away, or we eat them when we're hungry,
right.
and we literally make like 10 cheese and 10 pepperoni pizzas a day.
Mhm. Yep.
That's the science behind it.
Each like yeah. Yeah, so that's how they do it. It's just yeah. And so Chad says he wasn't thirsty, he was hungry. So the reenactment shows that they're eating the cheese, like they're just sticking their hands into the
Just the
cheese, they're just
regular
eating it.
mozzarella cheese.
And
Yeah.
then the tub of sauce, and they're just like eating that, and then the security company calls.
Mhm.
And it's he of course answers the phone, and he says the other end, the security company says, "Sir, is everything okay?" And then Bad Chad tells him to say it's fine. So Chad says, "It's bad, it's really bad," and he hangs up, and he realizes that Bad Chad had fucked up and he was a bad influence on him. So
Yeah.
it's time for that to be over with.
Yeah. So now Chad is like, "I don't think I can do this anymore," like to Bad Chad. And Bad Chad's like, it's like a breakup. He's like, no, don't say this, Chad. Like, I love you, man. Like, we're so good to each other. We're made for each other. And Chad's like, I'm leaving you at this Little Caesars. Like, I gotta go. And Bad Chad did not take that very well. He literally turned into a pizza monster, literally Pizza the Hut, basically. And it's like actually terrifying. So Bad Chad, of course, is gonna say, like, I'm just very angry about everything. Like, you need me. Like, we're like this. We're so tight.
We're peas
like
and carrots.
Yep. Again. And real Jimmy V, the rapper, goes, you know, you got two wolves inside of you. The one that you feed is the one that's going to grow. So he's basically saying, like, Chad's been growing this Bad Chad this whole time by feeding him with drugs, so that's the one that's taken over. And now we get into some great dialect between Chad and Bad Chad. So Bad Chad goes, I'm hot and ready, Chad.
He's a pizza. He's the pizza, yeah.
Just like the Little Caesars slogan. And real Chad goes, I knew that I had to leave. He literally ran to the back of the restaurant, climbed on top of one of the coolers, and then the only way out, apparently, even though the drive-thru window was still open, was to go up through the ceiling and into, like, the little, I don't even know what those things are called.
The vents.
Yeah, like the vents of the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, so then we see Pizza Face Bad Chad pop up and say, "You're never gonna get rid of me, Chad," from like one of the vents. And he's like, ah! So he screams and he falls to the ceiling on top of the pizza, like of pizza and boxes. It's like they already had pizza made or something. It was just, so he grabs an apron and then realizes that he's just in his underwear and socks. He writes sorry on a Post-it note and writes his phone number. Then he grabs 2 waters and a brownie and jumped out the window where the police were waiting for him. Yeah.
And you know what? So nice of him to leave his phone number and everything. So sorry. And then his phone number? That's crazy. But you know that he doesn't have bad intention. He just needed some help. Mm-hmm. But now we show like the actual true newscast, and it literally shows his mugshot, like his real mugshot. And it says that a man was arrested wearing only underwear, his socks, and then a Little Caesars apron. And this is when we are introduced to Chad's brother, Mike Korn. And this is his older brother. And he just goes, like, the way that I found out that Chad was in trouble was because his baby mama literally sent him, like, the news article through text. And it's just like, do you want to see what your brother's done now? So you could tell that Chad was probably, like, his family knew that he needed help for a long time. But, you know, you can only provide help for so many times, or, you know, all these things before they need to realize that they need help as well. So the newscaster says that Chad took his bottles of water, his brownie, he had his employee apron on, and before trying to leave, he got caught by the police.
Yeah. And Chad receives 1 year in prison for this. And Mike tells us that Chad got out of prison. He picked him up and drove him straight to rehab, and he's been doing good ever since. So Mike says Chad bought his own car. He works for his brother because he can trust him when he's clean. Mm-hmm. And as he says, as long as you stay clean, you'll be okay. Mm-hmm. Since he's gotten clean, he has moved in with his brother, who's a great teacher, coworker, and all that stuff. Yeah. And it cuts to Jimmy and Chad hitting a softball against the fence, and he can't believe that over the last few years, Chad's found what he's needed to find. He can look in the mirror, and he can be happy with the person that he's looking at.
Yeah. It's so wholesome, too, that, like, his friends, you know, and family, like, were still there for him, too, because I feel like a lot of situations that people sometimes are just, like, they're on their own or whatever, so it's awesome that he had family and friends to go to. Especially the amazing rapper Jimmy V.
Jimmy.
But Chad then explains that this was a very defining moment in his life. Like, he knew that this was embarrassing and it had to be the last straw. But he does see the light out of it, and he says that if his story helps other people, hopefully it inspires them, because, hey, if this guy who broke into a Little Caesars fell through the ceiling, was super high on meth, and then also influenced with alcohol. If he can change his life around and really make a name for himself, then anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm. And then we see Chad, the real Chad, get a delivery from Little Caesars as he's saying these words. So he opens the pizza box, and as he opens the pizza box, it's the pizza face and says, "I'm hot and ready, Chad," and then he says, Chad says, "Well, then who says I can't?" Switch his life around, and the pizza face continues to laugh as Chad just closes the box, grabs a piece of pizza, grabs a piece of pizza, closes the box, and just walks away.
Yeah. This episode was so funny, but so wholesome at the end. Like, I love when they have, like, the little happy endings.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have episode 3 and 4 will be Cuckoo Girl and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Which are pretty good. So that'll, like we said, these are just when we have time to do them kind of things.
They'll
So
just come out when they come out.
yeah. Yeah, when we have time. But yeah, so we wanted to do at least these two. There's only season 2. I know they're making a season 3. But we might do something else.
There's comment below if you want us to do something else too, but there's like another thing on HBO Max that's called Neighbors that is like super intriguing to me, and I feel like it's of similar substance, but I don't know because I don't know anything about it, so it might be something completely different than in my brain, but
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll just have to react to some random music videos and stuff too, because
Oh, we could do that too, yeah.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like Jimmy V's music video.
Jimmy V's music video, yeah. Yeah. I mean, what can we show? Can we show like YouTube videos, right? Because they're already on YouTube?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if we could show the video. See, I don't know like the whole
That's something easily you could research.
Yeah. Because I would love to do like
clips from like documentaries and stuff. I'm curious if you can do that with YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up, yeah. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode, these 2 episodes of It's Florida Man. On behalf of myself, Katie, the Gen X mom.
And Ireland, the Gen Z daughter.
We want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.